bunch of ideas came out about what business could be doing and what government could be doing to push things forward. First was that the business community needs to take a much stronger stand in publicly making the case for the importance of trade and investment, particularly coming into Australia, to give support and protection to politicians who come under all sorts of populist and xenophobic pressures within Australia. And if business isn't prepared to stand up and give them cover, then business can't complain when they run for cover. And as part of that, need also to be pushing for much greater transparency in the operations of the Foreign Investment Review Board. That would do a lot. Greater transparency would do a lot to dispel some of the myths in this area. Second theme that came through was that although a growing number of Australian firms are doing well selling into and bringing from Asia, there was a sense that there's a big gap and that there's a lot that needs to be done to get workforces with greater regional sophistication, greater regional literacy. Various ideas on how to do that. One option, which is what a lot of big firms are already increasingly doing, is just making greater use of the large and talented pool of international students that come here for a bit and then go home. So make greater use of that population of talent. The other option, which is more difficult, is to do much more for students that are coming up through the Australian education system. And that involves all sorts of investments, which I'm sure education will tell us more about. But there was a recognition that just working on the education system wasn't going to be enough. Also need to look at the, I guess in a sense, the demand side of what happens with career paths in the business sector for people that do acquire skills, including all the way to the top, all the way to boardrooms and issues of diversity in boardrooms. The second last idea, going quickly here, Sid, second last idea that got quite a bit of currency in our group was the need to keep pushing, keep giving support to politicians on the FTA front, not just because these helped with buying and selling, but because they gave a useful wider framework for building commercial linkages backwards and forwards. And then a specific idea that found quite a bit of currency in our discussions in that space was giving more explicit emphasis to the investment side of the equation, where clearly things are lagging. And the sort of phrase that captured some of that discussion was the notion of explicitly moving from just discussion of FTAs to, in effect, FTIAs, free trade and investment agreements. And then finally, there was a recognition that there was some really conspicuous areas of just big opportunity for leveraging on capabilities in Australia, and there's a whole range of possibilities, but some of the ones that came up a lot were in food industry, financial services, services more generally, and a sense that this wasn't just about more buying and selling, although certainly that, but also potential for Australia to be really leveraging on ability to working with the regulatory development in these sectors around the region, that we could have a lot to offer there, and that would help us a lot too. Full stop.